another session about the myths of meditation. And this time we're going to talk about the myth that you need to follow some strange foreign tradition with strange and secret practices to achieve enlightenment or nirvana or whatever you call it. This myth is very, again, like all myths, it's very popular, so much so that it is accepted that if you want enlightenment, you need to follow a strange foreign tradition or a strange guru. Or if you can't find a foreign guru, follow a local person who dresses up like a foreign monk. Shaved head, orange robes, weird, unpronounceable name. All the outer signs of enlightenment are there, including a holier-than-thou attitude, an air of guru-ness around them. I too fell in this myth, even though I was born in one of those countries that everyone runs to when they want to pretend to be spiritual. And I think this myth goes a bit deeper than just following a foreign tradition. It's actually the belief that some traditions have a top secret meditation method, a secret recipe that they just don't share with others. And that if you want enlightenment, you have to be a part of the inner circle, as it were. Follow some secret, not taught to everyone, methods or techniques. Wear foreign clothes. And many traditions actively encourage this. They claim they have secret teachings they cannot just share with anyone because they are so powerful that they can be misused in the wrong hand. Never mind that. I can go to any library and read about how to build an atom bomb. But your teaching is so secret and so dangerous that it cannot be written down in a book. Many gurus encourage this as well. Having secret mantra initiations of secret rituals they do not do in front of others that supposedly give you all sort of psychic powers. And maybe they do. I don't know. But in these talks, we are limiting ourselves to enlightenment, or not even enlightenment, to awakening. Awakening to our true nature, which like I've said before, is a very simple and natural state of being. There is no need to do secret meditations, chant powerful mantras. join a foreign tradition or religion, wear yellow or orange robes, or shave your head. All these things might be useful to you at one particular stage, and they might help some people who lead chaotic lives, or whose life is out of control, like through drugs or alcohol. And maybe for some of these people, that discipline needed to join a monk-like tradition or follow the rules of some strange foreign religion. Maybe it helps some people, helps to quiet their mind, helps to get them more in touch with their inner self. But to then pretend that this is a universal requirement, or that you must follow some strange rituals, or that people who follow foreign gurus are more advanced, or that there can be secret teachings which supposedly give you lots of psychic powers. All these are but illusions. Another form for the mind to delude itself. The mind loves to get stuck in form. When in the material world, it'll run after BMWs and sexy women or men and bigger houses. And when it grows bored of all these, it says, right, I need a change. I'm going to become spiritual. And then the same egoic mind that until last week wanted the latest BMW is now wearing orange robes and sitting for hours in a painful lotus pose, trying to achieve nirvana or something, or trying to follow some strange rituals while starving oneself because you have been told it will give you secret powers. It's the same running of the mind. First it was running after material things. Now it is running after spiritual things. The mind is very impressed by outer show of spirituality. Some of the most angry and egoic people I've met were all members of some monkhood or religious order belonging to a different country, and they wore their robes and their whatever their order required, malas or yantras or whatever, with great pride. And in spite of all their pride, they were not any more spiritual than when they wore jeans and a t-shirt. If merely by changing our clothes we could become spiritual, then people would become spiritual every day, because we change our clothes every single day. putting on the robes of a monk does not make you one, and neither does it give you the spiritual strength of one. I'm not saying there is anything wrong with foreign traditions. I myself have followed on many of these traditions for years, including some of the so-called secret ones. And trust me, the secret traditions work as well as the public ones. That is to say, either not at all or completely. For many people, they don't work at all. And for those that they work completely. But for such people, they would have become enlightened anyway, because they had already done the inner work. And the foreign tradition was just a excuse, not the real reason. So if you're born in a Western country, in a particular culture, and you feel like some other country or some other culture is more spiritual than yours, then ask yourself this: how is this different from comparing your car to the neighbor's car, or your house to the neighbor's house, or your wife to the neighbor's wife? Just move from one set of comparisons to another. While it is true that many Eastern countries have had a more acceptance of spirituality, spirituality is more accepted there, but it also means they are more stuck in their ways. Countries like India or China, they have large amounts of superstition, blind rituals, useless rituals, just like any other religion in the West. Except that I've seen that the rituals of India, at least, are very elaborate, and they are meant at the end to humiliate you and take your money and give it to some priest or someone else in power. And yet I've seen many Westerners blindly follow these rituals, not realizing or understand that they no longer serve any purpose. I'm sure that some of these rituals served a purpose in more ancient times, and maybe they even work. But again, they're not spiritual. They don't lead to awakening. And that's the problem with following a foreign tradition. You're blindly accepting some other culture's superstition without knowing why that superstition worked at one time, or what the core of that superstition is. What many Westerners don't realize is that though traditions like Buddhism, Zen, yoga, in the West, they are presented in a very spiritual way. In a very easy to digest way, which is good. But if you go to the original countries like India or Japan or Vietnam, these things are religions. Religions with millions of made-up rules that do nothing but help priests and the temples gain power and money. And while it's true that these philosophies have a good core of truth in them, like Western religions like Christianity or Judaism, the fact is they also have centuries of crud, garbage pasted on top of that. And when you blindly follow some Eastern tradition, you're also following all the garbage that is collected with it over the centuries. So what is the solution? I'm not saying you don't need to follow foreign traditions, but make sure you don't go from one extreme to another. Many people, many spiritual people who are open-minded and non-judgmental people in their own culture, when they adopt a foreign culture, they go to the most extreme right-wing position of that culture. And I won't name any organizations, but you can find out about them yourself. Look at any organization that you think is so cool and so spiritual, and look at how it is seen in its own country. Again, without naming names, many popular Indian organizations in the West are either unknown in India, or they are seen as cult, and in some cases its members have been, or chapters have been, banned. I don't want you to scare you away from foreign traditions, but keep in mind that there is nothing spiritual or holy about any other country, and to think so is to fall into the veil of illusion. There is nothing spiritual about India or Indian gurus or Zen gurus from Japan or Tibetan Buddhists or even the Dalai Lama. There is nothing special they have that you don't. And contrary to what many of these traditions claim, there are no secret teachings, no hidden shortcuts to spiritual awakening. We all have to do the work, and that work is inner work. It is not concerned with outer rituals, outer forms, what you wear, and how you shave your head or not. The inner work is given to us by our own inner teacher, And it is possible that you may need to study a foreign tradition or a foreign guru at some time. But do not mistake that for the belief that the tradition or guru is special just because they are foreign. I remember a story told by an Indian writer who wrote books on yoga in his part-time. It wasn't his job. And he was told, come to America. We need a teacher. We guarantee you an income. We'll write your books. We'll write your speeches. We'll even help you travel from one place to another. We just need you to come here and do it. So this Indian guy asked, if you have everything, the speeches, the books, why do you need me? And this organization replied, oh, Americans want a brown face. They don't want a white person. And that's the real reason why people run after foreign gurus, because they think a brown face is more spiritual than a white one or a black one or any other one. This form of inverse racism is very profitable to many Indian and Chinese and Japanese gurus. But it's not, it has nothing to do with spirituality. A white dude wearing shorts, sandals and a t-shirt can be as spiritual as some Indian monk wearing orange robes or a Tibetan monk wearing yellow robes. Your robes do not make you spiritual. I know many of you understand this theoretically and you're shaking your head. Of course that's true, of course that's true. And yet, the next time you have to pick up some meditation or somebody tells you to find a guru, you'll try to find one with a foreign sounding name who hopefully looks foreign as well, even if he or she was born locally. You do not need to follow foreign gurus or foreign traditions, because there is no secret formula for enlightenment that some foreign looking guru has that you cannot have. Like I said before, awakening is a very simple process. It's a process of resting into your own natural state. There is nothing mystical, nothing secret, nothing special about this state. And nobody can give you this state. No secret initiation by some guru, because you already have it. Foreign traditions, like I said, may have more spiritual teachings just because they have kept the flame alive. But that doesn't mean that their teachings are correct, or at least correct for you, because you might need a different teaching or a different teacher. And I cannot tell you that. Your own inner teacher can. To summarize, nothing wrong with foreign traditions or gurus, as long as you accept that they are just one way to achieve awakening. they're not the only way, and that no one technique or method or tradition is better than another. One might be more suited to you, but that just means that it is more suited to you. Drawing any more conclusions is foolish. So if Tibetan Buddhism appeals to you, and more importantly works for you, which means you have spent a few years in it and you're feeling a change inside of you, then by all means stick with it. But if the only reason you chose Tibetan Buddhism is because the Dalai Lama is so famous, and you want something famous, you want the brand recognition that the Dalai Lama brings, and be honest with yourself. Your inner self knows. Just be honest with yourself. No harm in following foreign traditions, as long as you recognize there's just one path, and that your path, the path specific to you, might come from a teacher who lives just down the street and who wears jeans and sandals and who wears a silly Michael Jackson t-shirt or a Bob Marley shirt, and who doesn't look spiritual to you at all because he doesn't have the outer clothes of spirituality. Just because the person doesn't look spiritual or foreign doesn't mean that they might be the perfect teacher for you. But in your belief, your mental idea that you need a particular kind of teacher from a particular kind of tradition, you'll miss the diamond teachers who live just down the block from you and who could have helped you if only you had an open mind. So if I leave you with anything, it is this: keep an open mind. Outer show of spirituality has nothing to do with inner truth. Just because a person looks spiritual on the outside and dresses the way you expect spiritual people to dress doesn't mean that they are spiritual or that they are the right guru for you. Only you can know who the right teacher or the right path for you is. And if you're in doubt, just sit quietly in meditation and ask your inner self. You will find the answer closer than you think. And with that, I will leave you with a few deep breaths. Breath goes in. In. Hold. And out. In. Hold. Thank you very much for listening. And as always, if you have any feedback or questions, send them to me at my website, thepathtojoy.org, has the link. Thank you. Thank you for listening. If you want a free course on how to contact your inner teacher, your own spiritual guide, the part of the divine who lives inside of you and is guiding your spiritual progress, then please go to my website, thepathtojoy.org. That is thepathtojoy.org. Thank you.